This is not your regular yam porridge. This is yam porridge like no other. Now this is my yam. I'm going to peel and wash this into my pot. So yeah, I've peeled and washed my yam into my pot. Now I'm going to put this on fire. Then I added my water. Then I'll be adding a pinch of salt. So yeah, I close the pot and allow to cook. Now I'll be blending my mixed pepper. Now this is my shumbo. I'm going in first with my shumbo into my blender, which is my bell pepper. Then I'll be adding my scotch bonnet pepper, which is atarodo. I added that into my blender. Then I'll be going in with my red bell pepper, which is tatashi. I added that into my blender. Then I'll be slicing my onions into my blender. So yeah, I slice my onions into my blender. Then I'll be washing my crayfish into my blender. Then I washed all into my blender. I'm going to blend this together. So yeah, I rough blended it together. Then I'll go ahead and slice my vegetable. Now this is pumpkin leaf and I've sliced that. I set that aside. Then I picked my pots. Now in this pot, I'll eat on the fire. Then I'll be going in with my palm oil and my mixed pepper that I blended earlier. Now you know I'm not going to waste anything. I'm going to rinse my blender. I'll set that aside first. I'll be adding my seasoning cube into my pot. I gave that a stir after adding my seasoning. Then I went in with my smoked fish. I set that together. I clicked check on the yam. It was still boiling. Then I came back to check on the sauce. I gave this a stir. Then I went in with that water that I rinsed my blender. And I set this together. I went back and checked on the yam. It was soft at this moment. I removed the excess water. Now I'll be pouring in my sauce into my yam. Yeah. Then I poured everything into my yam. So this is me pouring it into my yam. And after pouring everything, I'm going to rinse my pot. Yeah, I want to waste it. Yeah. So I rinsed that into my pot. I'm going to stir this together. So this is me stirring it. Guys, you can see how this is forming. So this is me stirring it together to be well cooperated. Guys, you can even have the porridge like this without the vegetable if you don't like vegetables. But guys, I'm going to balance it up with my vegetable. So I balance it up with that vegetable. Then I close the pot for some minutes. Then I'm going to stir this together. Now guys, after adding your vegetable, don't leave it on the fire for too long. Just give it a little stir so that your vegetable will still be fresh in your yam. So this is me after a few seconds. I'm stirring this together. So look at it. Look at how it's looking, guys. This is already yummy. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I love you.